When we speak about love, many people immediately connect it to physical attraction or intimacy. Our society has conditioned us to equate closeness of the body with closeness of the heart, but this is where we often mislead ourselves. Sex may be an expression within a relationship, but it is not the foundation of love. It can exist entirely without love, and that is why so many people wake up after moments of passion feeling emptier than before. The act itself cannot give meaning to a relationship that lacks respect, trust, and commitment. Love, in its truest form, is something deeper. It is not found in the heat of the moment, but in the consistency of presence. Think about it. Anyone can be physically close for a short while, but not everyone can stand by your side when you are vulnerable, when you are weak, or when life tests you in ways you did not expect. That steadfastness, that is love. It is a force that is not limited to physical touch, because love lives in the unseen qualities: patience, forgiveness, loyalty, and kindness. Psychologists often describe love not as a feeling, but as a choice. Feelings are fleeting, they rise and fall like waves, but a choice is deliberate. A choice requires thought, sacrifice, and responsibility. Love, then, is the daily decision to value another human being, to honor them, and to carry their well-being as a part of your own. Sex alone cannot teach you this. Dating alone cannot anchor you in it. They may introduce you to someone, but love is what keeps you connected when the emotions wear off. Philosophically, love also elevates us beyond the self. Desire is self-focused. It asks, what can I get from you? But love asks, what can I give to you? This shift is what transforms relationships from being transactional to being transformational. When love is reduced to sex or romance, it becomes shallow, and shallow waters dry up quickly. But when love is built on respect and care, it deepens into something eternal. So remember, physical intimacy without true love is just an encounter. True love is not measured by what happens in a moment, but by what endures after the moment has passed. And if there's one thought I want you to carry with you, it's this: never confuse the spark of desire with the flame of love, because only one will keep you warm when life turns cold. One of the greatest confusions in our time is the way we blur the line between love and infatuation. When two people begin dating, there is usually excitement, energy, and attraction. Everything feels fresh and intense. The heart beats faster. The mind is constantly occupied with thoughts of the other person, and every message or meeting feels like a spark. But that spark is not yet love. It is what we call infatuation, an emotional high, a temporary rush, and like all highs, it eventually comes down. This is why so many people are disappointed when their relationships, which started so passionately, begin to feel ordinary. The truth is, what many thought was love was simply a surge of emotions, not the steady current of real love. Infatuation is based on how someone makes you feel in a moment. Love is based on who that person truly is, and your decision to value them even when the feelings shift. Psychologists often remind us that feelings are chemical and can fade, but values and choices are what determine the strength of a bond. Philosophically, infatuation is self-centered. It is about the thrill you receive. Love, however, is other-centered. It is about the commitment you give. When dating is driven only by attraction and pleasure, it risks becoming a cycle of chasing highs without building depth. This is why many move from one relationship to another, hoping to find lasting joy, but never realizing that the key lies not in chasing stronger sparks, but in learning how to nurture a steady flame. Infatuation can mislead us because it wears the mask of love. It makes promises it cannot keep. It convinces us that intensity equals longevity, when in reality, it is consistency that creates endurance. True love takes time. It grows slowly, like a tree with deep roots. It withstands storms because it is not built on temporary feelings, but on enduring values: respect, patience, trust. So we must be careful not to confuse the beginning of a relationship with the essence of love itself. The start may be sweet, but sweetness alone cannot sustain you through life's bitter trials. And here is the reflection I leave with you. Infatuation is a spark that excites you, but love is a light that guides you. Choose the light, because sparks will always fade. Love is often spoken about as though it is merely an emotion, something that sweeps us off our feet, as though we have no control over it. But if we reduce love to nothing more than a feeling, then it becomes as unstable as the weather, here one day, gone the next. Feelings are important, yes, but they are not enough. Real love is not something you simply fall into, it is something you grow into. It is not only what you feel, but what you choose to do. When you look at the most enduring relationships, you notice a pattern. They are not sustained by constant passion or excitement, but by deliberate actions. Patience when the other is difficult, forgiveness when mistakes are made, and loyalty when temptations arise. These actions are not born out of fleeting emotions, they are born out of commitment. In fact, psychologists argue that love matures when it shifts from being just a reaction of the heart to becoming a responsibility of the will. That means love is not simply about how much pleasure someone gives you, but how much effort you are willing to invest in them. Philosophically, this is a profound distinction. Infatuation is passive, you are carried by it. Love is active, you build it. To say, I love you, should not mean, I feel strongly about you right now, but rather, I choose to care for you, to honor you, and to put in the work, even when the emotions fluctuate. Without this shift, relationships remain shallow, dependent only on how good things feel in the moment. But with this shift, they acquire depth, because they are anchored in action, not just sensation. This is also why sex and dating by themselves cannot equal love. They may create emotions and experiences, but without consistent actions of care, they cannot sustain anything meaningful. It is like building a house on sand. When the storms come, it collapses. A house built on rock, on consistent acts of love, will stand. So the real question is not how strongly you feel in the moment, but how deeply you are willing to commit in the long run. And I leave you with this thought. Love is not proven by words whispered in passion, but by actions lived out in patience. If your love is real, it will always be seen in what you do, not just what you feel. One of the most common mistakes people make in relationships is believing that physical closeness automatically means emotional closeness. Two people may share the same space, the same bed, even the same body, but remain strangers in the heart. This is because physical availability is not the same as emotional vulnerability. The body may be open, but the soul may still be locked away, and unless that deeper dimension is touched, what exists is not love. It is only an arrangement of convenience or desire. True love demands something far more difficult than physical intimacy. It demands honesty. It requires the courage to reveal your fears, your flaws, your insecurities. Many people find it easier to expose their bodies than to expose their hearts, because emotional vulnerability feels like a greater risk. It is in that space of openness, however, that real love grows. Without it, relationships remain superficial, presenting a picture of closeness while in reality keeping a safe distance from true connection. Psychologically, this is crucial. Emotional intimacy fosters trust, and trust is the lifeline of love. Without trust, every disagreement feels like a threat, every mistake feels unforgivable. But when two people can be emotionally transparent with one another, they create a safe space where mistakes can be acknowledged and growth can occur. The body alone cannot provide that safety. It is the heart, shared openly and sincerely, that builds it. Philosophically, physical intimacy without emotional depth risks reducing a person to an object, a source of pleasure rather than a partner in life's journey. Love, however, sees beyond the surface. It values the soul, the character, the inner world of the other. It is this recognition of the whole person that turns affection into something lasting. This is why so many relationships fail after the initial attraction wears off. If there was no emotional foundation, then once the novelty of physical intimacy fades, nothing remains. But when vulnerability and openness exist, the bond strengthens over time because love continues to grow with every truth shared, every challenge faced together, and every secret carried safely. So remember, physical closeness may satisfy for a moment, but emotional closeness sustains for a lifetime. And here is the thought I leave with you. If someone cannot hold your heart with care, then holding your body will never be enough. Choose the one who seeks your soul, not just your skin. Love cannot survive without commitment. It is easy to start something when emotions are high and attraction is strong, but the true test comes when life introduces challenges. Anyone can stay when things are smooth, but love is revealed when circumstances are rough, when patience is tested, and when sacrifices are required. Without commitment, what we call love quickly crumbles because there is nothing holding it steady. Think of dating, for example. For many, dating is a season of exploration, meeting new people, sharing moments, enjoying companionship. There is nothing inherently wrong with getting to know someone, but without the intention of commitment, dating often becomes a cycle of beginnings without endings. People invest time, energy, and even intimacy, but if there is no direction, they eventually feel empty. This is because love cannot grow in a space where permanence is never considered. It needs roots, not just passing encounters. Commitment also provides the framework for trust. When you know someone is genuinely invested in the long run, their words carry weight. Their promises mean something. Without commitment, every argument feels like it could end the relationship, and every mistake feels like a potential goodbye. But when both people are committed, disagreements become opportunities to grow rather than reasons to leave. That security is what allows love to deepen over time. Philosophically, commitment transforms love from a feeling into a covenant. It changes the language from "I love you because you make me happy" to "I love you because I have chosen you." This is why sex without commitment often leads to disappointment. The body may be given, but without a promise to honor and protect the person, the act risks becoming empty, treating the other as an experience rather than as a human being of value. Love calls us to something higher, to honor another not just in moments of passion, but across the seasons of life. So while attraction may ignite the spark and intimacy may add warmth, it is commitment that keeps the fire of love alive. And I leave you with this: if love does not carry the weight of commitment, it is not love. It is only convenience. Choose love that stays when it is hardest to stay. At the end of the day, what every human being seeks is a relationship that feels safe, meaningful, and lasting. But this can only happen when we build on the right foundation. If we confuse love with sex, or dating with love, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Love is not about temporary highs. It is about building something that sustains us through the ups and downs of life. And building requires wisdom, patience, and intention. A healthy relationship is not defined by how much fun two people can have together, but by how much respect and trust they share. Respect means recognizing the dignity of the other person, not reducing them to what they can offer physically or emotionally in the moment. Trust means knowing that even in times of weakness, betrayal is not an option. When respect and trust are in place, love is given the space to breathe and grow. Without them, what we call love is just a fragile imitation. We also have to remember that values matter. Shared goals, shared beliefs, and shared principles create alignment. Two people may enjoy dating each other, but if their values are in conflict, the relationship will eventually tear at the seams. Love thrives when both partners move in the same direction, when they see life not as two separate journeys occasionally meeting, but as a shared path walked side by side. Philosophically, love demands maturity. It asks us to rise above selfishness. It asks us to move from a mindset of taking to a mindset of giving. That is why lust and infatuation always collapse. They are rooted in what one can get. But true love endures because it is rooted in what one is willing to give. The more we align our relationships with respect, trust, and values, the healthier and deeper they become. So if we want love that lasts, we must stop mistaking the temporary for the eternal. Sex can be part of love, dating can introduce love, but neither is love in itself. Real love must be built intentionally, with care, consistency, and commitment. And here is the final reflection I leave with you. Do not chase moments, build bonds, because it is bonds, not moments, that carry you through a lifetime.